Yo, what up? It's AaroniMoses, and this is the second installation of my Egyptian God and Goddess Life Path Numbers Spiritual Identity series. So, yesterday I did a reading for one of my loved ones. I don't want to say her name because I didn't ask her permission, to put her information out there. But if you haven't seen my last video was on the number 16. Now, if you want to know what your Egyptian life path number is, all you have to do is add up the numbers in your name, the letters in your name, the name that you were given with, okay? Not melanated goddess, Ma'at, love, queen, not that, okay? The name that is on your birth certificate that your parents gave you, okay? Not your maiden name, not junior, senior, the third, the fourth, none of that, okay? All right. Now, if you have 20 letters in your first name, your middle name, and your last name, the name that you were born with, this is the information that you need to be listening to. This is for the men as well as the women, the males as well as the females. Okay. Now I'm offering this is my most costly one. Actually, no, that's a lie. This is my second most costly reading. My most costly reading would actually be the couple Egyptian life path number reading, where I would take you and your mate and give you guys a separate reading and then give you the past, present, and future and any advices that the spirits guide me to give you, okay? So, first we're going to start. How's everyone doing today? Thank you, thank you. Kimberly, Fatima, Zoe, Jamie, Gianna, Danielle, Capri, Genesis. How are you guys doing today? It is hot as heck, and I don't have an AC because I didn't want to get one because I don't need one. And I had to close my window because it's the 4th of July tomorrow, and everybody's acting like they never popped a firecracker today. So I had to close my window. So, so first, now if you're a woman and you have 20 letters in your name, your Egyptian spirit, spirit energy, spiritual energy is Isis, the virgin. Now, virgin in this situation does not mean someone who has never had any sexual intercourse ever. Virgin simply means under 20. So this could be anywhere from 13 to 19. Okay. And if you want me to give you the exact number and the reading, past, present, future, and anything else the spirits guide me to give you, just definitely make sure that you DM me, contact me personally. Now, with this, we have to understand who Isis or Aset grew to be. Aset is actually a very, very dark goddess. Now, if you don't know, basically Aset is the mother archetype, the motherhood of all of Egypt. All right, very important. One top five most important goddesses, gods, goddesses, whoever of Egypt, of Kemet. All right. Two of my favorite stories, of course, number one being the story that featured her almost killing her own father just to learn his secret name, which has a lot of significance. So if you want to learn about that, it's pretty easily Googleable. All you have to do is type in the myth of Isis and Ra secret name. Basically, what she did was she created the world's first serpent called Ra down, asked him to examine this animal. The snake bit Ra, poisoned him, and she said, "Look, if you don't tell me your name, you're gonna die. You got to tell me your secret name because I have to put the secret name and the anti venom, and then I can cure you, and you won't die. But if you don't, you're gonna die, and nobody's ever gonna know your secret name." And then she cured him, and then all kind of stuff came with that, and it was awesome. And then my second most favorite story that features Offset, also known as Isis, is of course the story of Isis, Haru, and Osiris. Very important to know what she grew to be, because if you actually know why she's important and what she's done, and how she thought as she grew into these stages. One, when she did this to Ra, she wasn't too much older than maybe, she was like around my age, a little bit younger, I would say. And then with the whole Horus Haru Set myth, she was probably like 32 to 33. Well, she still wasn't that old, right? So we have to understand that Isis or Aset, as a teenager, was constantly studying not only not only metaphysics, not only metaphysics and science, but social sciences as well, how people operated, psychology. We could even venture to say that there was a little bit of abuse. Very smart person, very calculating, very cold, very, I would say that she was neglected a lot. Okay. Whatever went on, I don't know. I wasn't there. But we have to understand that this was a very meditative, logical teenager. And in my reading, I compared her to the main character in the movie Hard Candy. Just an overly intelligent, borderline genius little girl that just read all the freaking time, that looked at people weird when they tried to socialize with her because she knew too much, because that's what knowing psychology will do if you're not taught the right way, or if you don't learn it from a specific part of your heart. I'll use that. Okay, it can make you into a very dark person, or it could give you more understanding and give you more empathy. Very important. So just understanding that you need to be using this energy to identify what path that you want to walk down immediately. There's going to be darkness and there's going to be light. But what are you going to use? You have to be able to master both. You have to be able to master both. I always stress this to people. If you want to learn how to heal, if you want to master, if you want to master healing, you have to be pretty good at hurting. Okay, you have to have the balance. You have to at least know a lot about it, a hell of a lot about it. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Mary. Now, for the men, for the males, who are you? You are Haru as a baby, or the Greeks, or as the Greeks like to call him, Harp, Harpo, Harpocrates. I'm sorry. I've never known that name, and I don't usually like to look into the Greek's name if I don't have to. But if you want to look into that side of Haru as a baby, his name is spelled Harpocrates. Now, the significance of this, gentleman, is that Haru as a baby represents the shadow self, as well as the flame, the kundalini. Very important, okay? Now, the shadow self would be the sleeping version of the kundalini that has not yet risen. Think of a sleeping baby. Think of a toddler, or think of children who are being quiet, that are not in your sight. That automatically makes you think that they're doing something wrong, they're getting into something, and that you need to rush towards them to find out what they're doing. You can also think of it like this. When children are learning, especially little babies, they have this look on their face, and it's like their minds are excited, but they don't have they don't, they're so mesmerized that they can't even respond. Like even when adults, when we are learning, when we're taking in a lot of information, we might go, oh my God, that's so crazy. Look at it. Look, oh my God. Like that's just normal. Like that's what adults do, but children don't do that. Babies don't do that usually. Okay. Think of it as that. Okay. That silence that is that silent fire inside of a baby's mind. Okay. That's one aspect. The other aspect, the flame, the active kundalini, the child that just has a lot of charisma from nowhere. Both of his parents are like freaking Chucky Finster's dad or like Tommy's dad and mom. Stu and Dee Dee had no charisma. They were all bland and pale. But Tommy just has this big personality. He's the leader of the pack. Like Tommy in Rugrats, if you're not a 90s baby, Tommy would be the perfect example of Haru as a baby. The Kundalini. The Kundalini, Tommy would be the Kundalini. Tommy would be the Kundalini. Phil and Lil would be the Ida and the Pingala. Chucky would be the freaking frontal lobe. And then Angelica, oh, I never liked Angelica, so we're not even gonna bless her with the title. So, anyways, Haru as a baby represents the Jesus archetype because if you don't know anything about Haru, he is, a lot of people consider him to be the oldest god in Egypt because he was always, well, when they talk about that primordial chaotic energy before the gods were created, that blue ether that I like to talk about, there was always there was always an unidentified energy, and that unidentified energy came to be Haru. That was the energy that dropped into Isis, or depending on how you look at it, maybe even Osiris, and gave her the ability to usher in a new era. That's what Haru as a baby also represents. The symbolism for a new era, a new energy, a new eon, new beginnings. Haru is, of course, that Aries gang energy. Okay. Notice how it rhymes, not rhymes. It sounds a lot like hero, the person in the story that we're always looking for, the person in the story that everybody in all of humanity is always trying to discover, that energy that you want to be towards people that you never had, or that energy that you're trying to suck from other people that you never had, trying to fill those voids, right? That is Haru's energy. Now, Haru, I really didn't want to go into this, but Aleister Crowley wrote a book called The Book of the Law. Now, he describes Haru as being a pink baby standing on two crocodiles, Ida and the Pingala, with his finger over his mouth. And I think that that is, I don't know if I would describe Haru as a baby as that. I mean, but if you, if that helps you at all with figuring out who you are and understanding why you may or may not do certain things, go for it. Think about it like this again, for my 90s babies, for my anime fans. Think about Haru as a baby like this: Vegito or Gogeta. As a baby, I don't think we really don't have to go that deep. But maybe Vegeta or Gogeta not even fighting, maybe them having a picnic with the rest of the Z fighters. Maybe that playing Madden with the rest of the Z fighters, passing them sticks. Whatever the case is, guys, if you want a deeper understanding of what you can utilize your personal ancient Egyptian or Kemetic spirit for, DM me. We can go over that. What is to come for your future based on these energies? How are these energies affecting you right now? And of course, with the small description that I've given you on both sides, you can obviously see how these energies have affected you in your past, why you keep getting the same results, the habits, the patterns that go on in your life. Also, guys, if this is a replay or if you're watching this right now, let me know how many letters you have in your name, and then we can go from there as far as which numbers I choose to go into. But I really like doing these readings. They don't only help you, they help myself. And I love to learn. I love to do them because they're all always different. I've done a good amount of these. I get a lot of 16 through 18s, 16, 17s, and 18s. And they're always different. They're not completely different, but the future aspects are. They're pretty much like the zodiac for ancient Egypt or Kemet, but they're a little bit different. A little bit different. They're a lot different. They're a lot more intense than everyday life path numbers, which is why I like to do them. Plus, people don't do these. It's pretty exclusive. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. I definitely enjoyed making this video. Make sure you share and make sure that you tune in for my live readings tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. All right. It's Aaron Moses. Do what happy people do. See you next time. Peace.